Hello everyone, my name is Sajjad. I am from Isbat University. Today, our podcast theme is how to become a successful graphic designer and animator. Our guest is Mr. Martin Karazarwe. He is a founder and CEO of Kave Agency. Mr. Martin is multi-talented creative professional. He thrives on bringing stories to life through visuals and motion. His main goal is to create memorable and impactful visuals which leaves a lasting impression. Mr. Martin worked on many multimedia projects. He has a client from UK, US, Uganda, India, and so on. So please welcome Mr. Martin. Welcome, Mr. Martin, to our Isbat podcast.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here.
How are you? How are you doing, Mr. Martin?
Good. Trying to find work all over the world and survive.
But you did amazing work. I've been following you from quite some time now, and it's my pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Well, we are trying our best and more to come. And more to be worked on this year.
So, Mr. Martin, the first question for you in our today's podcast is, what are the latest trends in graphics and multimedia, and how they are shaping the industry?
So the first trend is using the real-time ray tracing, and it has been doing amazing work. So when you use the real-time ray tracing, it makes your renders look realistic. So like bounces the light in your 3D render scenes, and you get the realistic renders ever, and it's amazing. And I hope some people have tried it, and I'm hoping to see people trying it. It's amazing.
So you mean to say we can use this rendering in all the software, or is it is restricted to, let's say, 3D Studio Max only or Maya?
Well, it comes, some people, like, it comes with some computers. So if your computer can use it, so you can access it. So most of the people use 3D Max, 3D Max, and then use Maya, and some people use it in Blender, Cinema 4D. And so the next trend is 3D printing and modeling. This has helped a lot people who are also doing some engineering, where they come to artists and they're like, I'm designing such equipment, so can you create for me this product? So after even creating the product in 3D, we have the ability to render it out and then give it to the software developers and engineers to add their things, like to make it work. So if it's like a device used in a hospital, it can be 3D printed and then goes to the next department, which is for engineering and software and stuff, and then they add in more work to make it work. So, which is also great, and I'm very happy that we have printing places in Uganda, different areas.
So it's available in Uganda?
Yes. There's one here at Motive.
So, but the printing will be expensive, not
very expensive, but it's worth it. Yeah. And then the other trend is using motion capture and animation. So motion capture has helped 3D animators or 3D animation artists to get realism in movements of their characters. Because when you have a motion capture suit on, that means if you match the data to the 3D character you have, it's going to be like a real person. So everyone will be like, how does this artist do this to make it true? And we have seen it in cinemas, Marvel, Disney, DC Comics using all that. So the characters you see, they wear motion capture suits. That's why they are able to be like real. So the people who don't know the movie industry, they'll be like, maybe someone is wearing a suit, they created a metallic character, and someone is wearing the metal suit, which is not right. It's just motion capture suits.
Mr. Martin, you use the term motion capture. Can you elaborate more about this motion capture to our audience, those who are completely new in this field, or those who are viewing our podcast at this moment?
Okay. So the motion capture, when I say motion capture, as its name, they capture the motion of something. So if you put on, and it can be used in many ways, you can have a motion capture suit. Some people use it on their faces, where I see someone having dots around their faces, and that is all motion capture. And it can be anything. You can maybe use it on your arm. You put like trackers, like anywhere. So that's how I can explain the motion capture part of it. It's like capturing the motion of sound using some devices, motion capture devices.
And then we can transfer that file in
Yes.
After Effects.
After Effects, Maya, 3D Max, and yeah, many softwares.
Any other software.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Martin, my second question for you is,
Yes.
can you share some insight into the role of multimedia in various industries, such as marketing, education, entertainment?
I'll start with marketing and advertisement. So the role of a multimedia person. So you can create videos, graphics, materials like taking photos to be used for advertisement, and it can be anything what you decide to use. Some people use cameras, some people use softwares like Illustrator, Photoshop to create those advertisement and advertising materials, videos, graphics, and it can be anything. You can even take photos and use them for advertising. And then for the education sector, you can use multimedia. For example, you can record educational videos, teaching online, streaming, and all that stuff.
So you mean to say the way we are using the platform like Zoom,
Yes,
and Microsoft,
yes, that's all.
so that way we can use it.
Yes.
Okay. And for entertainment,
And for the entertainment, we can rely on like TVs, games, and all that.
okay, great.
Like in movies, they can use it in movies.
You are very much busy with so many projects, and as I explained in my intro also, like you have so many projects which are going on, and you have clients from UK, US, even from India. Yeah,
Yeah.
right? Even from India. So how you maintain the serendipity?
Well, that's a good question. Hard to explain. But most of the times in our field, people tend to focus on one thing, which is not my style. So now I categorize some of the projects. I have personal projects, and then I have projects which are meant for the client. Because in our field, if you are not a party animal or you do drinking and stuff, so you need something that will keep you busy. So some projects I do it on a personal basis, inspire other creators, and to let people know what exactly I'm capable of doing. Because you never know, you may be in videography for a long time, and then you decide to switch. Or someone is like, "Can I hire you for animating and stuff?" And then you go for that. So there's no limitations. But the way how I make sure I handle this is, when I take one project, it has to be worth it. So if a client is
So
paying
you
me-
just focus only on that particular project.
Yes, but it has to be able to pay me a lot of money so that I can work for 1 month, and then the next 4 months, even if I don't work. So I'll be focusing on other things.
Okay.
Yeah. So for the people you find when they are doing one thing, these are the people who are charging less. So most of the challenge we face in our field is charging less money. Sometimes we don't know how much they charge and stuff, and sometimes we are scared if we tell our client a lot of money, they will go away, and then we tend to just let everyone in. This is not my case. I'll make sure the client I work for is worth it. Because apart from like working one job, and which is very dangerous in Africa, it's not good to focus on one job. If it's okay with you, it's fine. But for some people like me, I don't like focusing on one job because I just hate it. So do one job that will pay you a lot of money, and then that
So
money.
you are very choosy, very particular. Like
Yes.
he wants to work for this particular client.
Yes.
He knows the worth of that project.
Yes. And you can do a project, let's say you shoot a short film, and that short film will go to competitions where you even earn more money, and it will continue. Just put it in different areas. And then you make more money. So imagine you are shooting just videography, you don't do anything else. So that is all the money you are losing. So the reason why you went to study multimedia, that even the word multimedia, that means you handle a lot of stuff, audio, videography, graphics, photos, and all that stuff. So why do you study multimedia and then you go do one thing? It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, Mr. Martin, how did the Isbat City Campus shape your career and transform you as a globally competent professional?
One thing I would say Isbat City Campus is way more different than any other like institute or university I've seen, because everything they do is practical, which is very good. Now, I'll give you an example. There are some students who graduate from other campuses, and then when they reach to the real world, they can't even do the work, but their papers show they passed everything. And then when they come to the real world, they can't do anything. And I've seen that a lot, because there's a point where I worked, I was applying for a job, and one of the people who was applying was having a diploma, and at that time I had finished my certificate in like multimedia, but the work I could do was better than that person who came from another institute who had a degree. So that shows that if we are looking at studying, go for an institute or a university that gives you practical, because our work is practical. It's not theory. You are going to read the whole book with 50 pages, and someone who's doing practical is going
It's
to do better.
practical oriented, of course. Yeah.
Yes. So that's one thing I love about Isbat City Campus. And I would say the university is well known. And if someone sees that you are coming from Isbat, it's very easy for you to get employed. It's very easy for you to get it, because they know people from that university. They have nice work. They are very creative.
Our intention is basically, to teach in-depth knowledge, to impart the in-depth knowledge to the students.
Yeah. And also the notes, because the notes they provide, they can give you maybe a small book, but even the book itself, it's practical. They will show you pictures. Put this here, put this there. So everything is practical. It's not like we are going to read a book. Let's say you read about a software, just the text, and then you don't get to use it. So now you know everything, the history about the software, but practically you know nothing. And practicals are way different than theory.
Right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. One time it happened with me also when I applied for the job. The employer told me, you keep your resume aside and show me your portfolio.
Yeah.
And what you can do. Then he gave me some work. He asked me to do it on the computer. And when I created that, then only he hired me. So yeah, our industry is very competitive, and you have to keep it with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
And to add more about that is, me coming from Isbat City Campus, actually, most of the time they ask, what have you worked on? They see your projects before even they ask the documents. But also when they call you, of course, they know you're coming from Isbat. They have high expectation, because they know the campus is one of the best campuses around Nambala. So, but also you have to show your work. So imagine you are coming from an institute or a university where I've been doing theory. So that means that job is, you have lost that job. Even if you have a PhD and you have less theory, those papers are useless.
Yeah, that doesn't work out. Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So I heard, as Martin said, when you're learning, that time you have to build your portfolio gradually. That will help you to get a job. All right. So, Mr. Martin, my next question is, what are the essential skills one should possess
Um,
to be a good graphic designer and animator, and from where he can acquire those skills?
one of the skill is to be creative.
You have to be creative.
Yeah, you have to be creative. And how can you be creative? Because most of the times when we go to school, and sometimes we also forget to make research. So I can give you an example. To myself, me, I think every day I look at people's graphics every morning, every day. And most of the times I found out like my screen time is always on the platforms where I go to watch graphics, other people's work. So to get an exposure, it's like when we are growing up as kids, the things we see people doing, we try them out. So now if you get yourself on platforms, I use Pinterest most of the times. Pinterest is my go forward. Even if I get a job from a client like this, I first make research. So creativity, you have to make research to be creative. Because if you get what you studied from school and you think that will be all it, so you have to make research in order to get that creativity. Because you can look at someone's work or what other people have created, and then for you add on that, because your job is to make something more better than other people. So if you see what they have made, so for you have to make what is more than them, and then practice every day.
So it's not necessary that you have to have inborn creativity. You can
Yes.
develop that skill.
Yeah, because most of the times I tell my fellow creatives, like, if you see a poster or a video and you can create the same thing, or even if you are looking at it and you can tell, this guy created this thing like this, so that means you can create it. So if you can replicate what exactly you are seeing, you're already creative. So now, can you do it more than that person? So you don't need to. There are some people who have no even creativity, but when they make research, they do something and they're like, wow.
So you can use those ads for your references,
Yes.
but you're not supposed to copycat.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you get inspired.
Yeah, you get things.
Yeah. Maybe the other skill is to understand your softwares, the tools you're using, Photoshop, Illustrator. And that's why I said at Isbat City Campus, man, everything is practical. There's no any way you're going to finish your course and then you know nothing about the software, because you see the softwares the day you enter the lecture rooms and the day you leave the lecture rooms. So I think, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Martin, how is the artificial intelligence and machine learning influencing the graphics and multimedia, and what potential future it holds?
There's a lot of AI in this generation. This year, actually, 2023, we have seen people, like, we have got to know more about AI and stuff. And some people are worried that since now in Premiere we have an AI that will edit your video from start to the end. Even if it's like a podcast like this and you have 3 cameras, it will cut every time I speak or another person speaks, it will switch to that person. And it will take like 3 or 4 minutes. And some people are worried they will lose job and all that. But to tell you the truth is, our clients don't know those things. They are not going to search how to edit a video or something. So our future is bright if you switch to AI also. So if you don't know AI,
So better you should learn.
yes, you should learn how to use it. Because if you have a client, is not going to search how to use AI to do this and this and that. Because for them, they are focusing on having like selling their products. That's their main focus. So that means for them, they will search maybe an AI that helps to generate speeches and stuff like that, but not to edit a video or enhance a photo or something. That will be our work of a creative. So we are not losing jobs, but it depends. Are you on the winning side or are you on the losing side? Where I have to work on a project for like a week, yet someone can use AI and then it takes like 1 hour, 2 hours. Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Martin, how has the rise of social media and online platform changed the way graphics and multimedia created and consumed?
Um, one of the thing I can say is visual communication, and then short content, and then the way they arrange the speeches. Because now online you need to present your business or your product within the first even 20 seconds, because people are always scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So we no longer have like 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute is okay, but like 20 minutes, an advert for 20 minutes. And you can find someone has created an advert for 1 minute and they have cost them a lot of money, because the way to shape the information to be in that short clip, it's very hard. It's like very, very hard. And then the next one is like real time content sharing.
Real time.
Yes. So like every time people are putting content, the competition is high. Yeah. So that's why I said you need to carve your content or to advertise your product in just the first 20 seconds. It should be very important, or it should.
So you have to hook it within the 20 second
Yes.
and 30 second.
And some people, what they do, because now the arrangement of the video also has changed. Someone can pick something in between the video. Let's say the video is 2 minutes, so it's going to go straight to the information. It's going to pick that clip and put it forward. So let's say you are watching a video, maybe they're advertising a new product, and someone will say, this product can make your hair grow. And they have picked it in between the video, somewhere in the frame. And then after that, then the video starts, and then we're like, what's going on? And then they start to explain everything. Yeah.
Mr. Martin, you know, AR and VR, it's just booming in
Yeah.
the market, virtual reality and augmented reality. So can you brief us something about augmented reality and virtual reality?
So I'm going to start with virtual reality. So we have exercised virtual reality where they have blended the digital and physical world, and just in a device like visual VR devices, where you can put it on and then you can see the whole environment. For example, in East Africa, we have people have started using that in like for tourism, where they create the environment using Unreal Engine or any other software to create that environment. People can experience the environment, and they see animals, and it's just like in this room. Someone is in this room, but what he's seeing is like he's in a theme
Everything's
park.
around you.
Yeah, it's like real world just surrounding you. And we have seen it
Do they
in
use the Dolby sound for that?
yes,
okay.
because it's like realistic.
Yeah.
You can hear an animal on the right, on the left, where everything is positioned. And then we have seen it being used in movies where they create scenes, and when they shift the real camera, they are fusing the real camera and a virtual environment. So when they switch the camera like this, and you see the environment also moving, so they are shooting in one location, but for the person viewing it is thinking it's an environment.
It's environment.
Yes. And then for the augmented reality, it's more of physical. So let's say we're watching a movie and it's maybe they are in the spaceship. So your chair, you feel the chair vibrating, like simulating the same effect you're seeing on the screens. If it's water splashing, the wind, and all that.
So where exactly this VR and AR people are using, whether they are using in entertainment extensively or in the gaming industry or in education?
I think it's everywhere almost.
Okay.
But I'll start with
But in gaming industry,
yeah, it's
they
a
are
lot.
using,
It's used a lot.
extensively. Yeah.
Because it also enhances the gaming experience. Because imagine you are playing a game, or you are using a game devices and stuff, and then you don't feel anything. And then there's this other game where you can feel the environment. You can see the environment a different way. So I think it's very exciting. Yeah. If you have tried it, or if you have not tried it, you should try it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
For me, I have that goggle. I tried, and since we are a multimedia lecturer, so we have to try all those things and show it to the students also, for them to get equipped with all this latest technology. Mr. Martin, our next question is, what advice would you give to those who are pursuing the career in graphics and multimedia?
One advice I can give you is building a strong foundation, and this involves in something I talked about, like making a lot of research and paying attention when they are teaching. Because sometimes the teachers that teach us, for example, I'll give Isbat City Campus. These teachers are very experienced. They know a lot of stuff, and they will tell you something that you won't like even find in the real world, and it will help you a lot. So
we try our level best to give maximum from our side.
Yes. So listening when they are teaching, and also making research, because our industry like grows every second. You can find something that has been trending today and not trending tomorrow. So if you are not making any research, then you are left out. You are on the losing side. And then the other thing is to learn design principles. Because I've seen people's artwork, you see the colors are off.
So basic foundation is very important.
Yes. The colors are off. The way they arrange or position their shots or even their artwork, like it's off. And also, well, we are in the years where people are turning artwork into like graffiti, but still you have to follow those principles, colors, rhythm, and all that. You have to follow them. And then also master your software. If you're using Photoshop, Illustrator, Cinema 4D, Maya, 3D Max, or Unreal Engine. So master the software.
So do we have to master all the software, the one which you mentioned it, or if somebody wants to, if somebody is passionate about, say, animation, or let's say somebody is passionate about only designing, so in that case, he has to master all the modules, or if he just master particular?
That's a good question, and I'll give you an answer that will confuse some of the people. So now, there are many softwares, but of course, for you to even start using that one software, you need to first go around all of them. You see what works best for you. So there are many, and you go around them and see what works for you. But what I've realized is no 3D artist has ever done any project without using Illustrator and Photoshop.
That is the foundation of graphics and multimedia.
So those two will help you to create textures and stuff. So you can choose to use like 4 softwares. For example, if you use Maya, you choose to use Photoshop and Illustrator, and maybe the third one, which is not also very common, it's the one for simulating clothes and designing clothes. It's mostly used by people who are doing fashion in 3D. So there's Claude, then there's Marvelous Designer. So those are the 4 I use personally. Okay, I use a lot also, but those are the 4 I use, like designing like real clothes. Sometimes we see adverts, they're advertising a jacket or something. That's 3D, and someone will think the jacket is already made, which is not true. Yeah, so you can't use one software. You need at least 4.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you have the knowledge of different software, that helps a lot.
Yes, yeah. And the other thing is to build a strong portfolio, because actually that's the major thing, because that's like the face you present to your boss or someone you want to get a job from. So building a strong portfolio is very important, and there are many ways of doing this. You can work for free for different people. You can actually working for free, because you can't just come straight to the school and then you go, they hire you. You need a portfolio. So I've done some free work for the past years to build my portfolio, because you do a free work today and someone will see your work and it's like, it's going to pay. And you can't tell them that you did it for free. Yeah.
Great.
Because as long as you have good work, they'll hire you. Yeah.
So portfolio is very important.
It's the first
we
one,
have
actually.
to
The first
build the portfolio right from the first semester,
Yes.
and when you will reach to your last semester,
Yes.
you will come out with some creative portfolio.
Yeah. Because I think I started building my portfolio even before I joined Isbat City Campus. Because I actually got I started working in my first semester. After that first semester, because I had already built a portfolio in my first semester, and the teachers were guiding us. Because after the classes, you go ask the teacher, "How can I do this and this?" And they show you. So we use that knowledge and then to build our portfolio. So I was working starting from my first semester. After my first semester, I got my first job because they never asked me, "Where are your documents?" I was like, "I'm from Isbat City Campus. This is what I can do." And that's why I say people from that Isbat City Campus, we are blessed. So you get a job instantly.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear that also. Do you do some kind of meditation or something?
Now, I think, I don't know if there's someone like me, but normally when I do this out of passion, and when I'm working, I'm not stressed. I keep on focusing on like solving problems like that I face while doing this work. So I do meditate, but as I told you, even today when I woke up in the morning, I was researching. So the more I make research, the more easier it will be for me when I get a job to work on someone's job. So the reason why I'm always like focusing on what I do is to be confident on what I do. Because if someone comes and it's like, "Can you do this 3D?" And then you are like, you start thinking. So to try to avoid that, I'll make more research and more practice.
So I heard research is very important.
Yeah. That's why I'm saying it all the time.
Yeah.
Research. And the world has advanced. There's nothing new you will do that someone has not done. So I'll give this advice to my fellow creatives. Before you start designing something, let's say you are going to do an animation of a person maybe talking, and then there's also some fight action and stuff. You have to create a rig and lighting. Research about people who have created it already. Get what they have created, use it instead of wasting time or like months creating that thing. First make research. That's why I say research will make your life
Easy. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So, and the field you are in, if you can't deliver in
Beautifully
time,
put it.
yeah, man, they will not tire. People like work. Because someone who hired you doesn't know how to use those software, and he thinks it's very simple. It takes you 2 days, and so to be hard, and that's actually the biggest challenge we face as creatives. Someone who's hiring you doesn't know how you're doing the work, and they think it's easily 2 days. So that pressure. So to be able to keep up the pace, make research. Who has created this before me? Pick it, create it even more better than them, or build on their foundation.
Great.
Yeah.
Nicely put it. Okay. The last question for you, Mr. Martin, is can you share some of your success stories or the achievement with our audience?
My success stories. I have many.
Or innovative projects which you worked on.
Yeah.
With our audience.
So when I was starting, I had no equipment to use, like laptops, cameras, and all those machines, and they are very important. Our field is very expensive. You buy a camera at around 10 million, and someone wants photography for 30,000. This is how it's challenging. So that means if you don't have money to fund,
That's why we have our studio.
yes,
People can come here.
and use, which is
use.
also good. But I'm talking
We will charge reasonable.
to the creatives who have no idea, who are starting. So my success story was that people loved my work, and so someone was like, "I'm going to buy you a computer." I have one of I think one of the best computers in the world that I use.
Wow.
And it was a gift just because of,
If you don't mind, can you share that configuration? I'm very curious. Even our audience also.
yeah.
Oh,
So I'm using two computers, but the one I'm talking about is the Legion. I sometimes forget the aspects, but it's a Legion. It's a gaming computer. It's around 13 million Ugandan shillings. And then also I have a MacBook Pro. It's also around 8M. And all that's not my money, just because people love my work and they're like, man, we would like to.
quite expensive.
Yeah. And also, if I go to my course, I'm going to spend around 200 million, as I'm actually even more, because I'm also buying more equipment, more computers and stuff. So, and all that money is not from my pocket. It's from the people who would want to see my dream come true. So if you don't have a camera or computer, try to find outsource how you can put your work out there.
Right.
Work for free, work for people who have those things. And you never know, out there, someone be like, let me support you. So you can chase your dream.
Right.
Yeah. So that
Great.
is one of my success stories. Because without any equipment, you can't do anything. Yeah.
Great.
Maybe my other success story is I've never failed an interview.
You never?
I've never failed an interview, a job interview. Because when people see you are coming from Isbat City Campus, they're like, this is a first class employee.
That's the interesting thing. As you said, like I never failed the interview. So even our audience wants to know, like, how you crack your interview.
Well, even when you see how I'm dressed, I'll give you an example. Starting from the first impression, if someone is hiring a creative to do creative work, they won't expect you to come in suit and stuff. Imagine someone coming in a suit for applying for a graphic designing, 3D or film stuff, and then I come like this, casual. Because we have our style. Like creatives have their style. They will hire you because they know this guy is in the action, is in the mood of creating something, not in the suit. So if you come like that, they will hire me for creative work, and maybe they will make you a manager or something. Yeah. That is the first impression, the way you present yourself, even before you start talking. And then,
But don't you think so? Attire is also important because of the moment you enter in any organization, any industry. So
well,
they will first notice you. Like you came for interview. You're
I've been to interviews where people.
Okay, I can understand in US they have that culture whereby you can go for interviews with casual dresses.
Even here, actually. I've
Even
been
in Uganda?
surprised, yes.
Okay.
Because I've been to interview where people have like degrees and they come in suits. Some people hire cars, they park. They come in like, you are like, man, this is good. But then you enter with a t-shirt. I normally wear a t-shirt with brands I've created myself.
Oh wow.
It can't be this logo, but I can design something, Illustrator. I print out that t-shirt. Those are t-shirts I normally wear. I don't wear these big brands, Gucci, Louis Vuitton. I create my own brands.
And then how you print it?
Well, there are printing places in Uganda. So you design your thing, you go to that company that does printing, you buy your t-shirts, they print for you.
And how much they charge normally for?
It depends. So you make sure I don't go for a broker, middleman. Go straight to the companies. Because when I printed the first t-shirts like this t-shirt cost me around 40,000. That was expensive. Okay, to some people it's cheap. But then when I did my process, each t-shirt cost me like 15,000. Actually, not 15, 10,000. Just 10,000.
Just 10,000?
Yes. Oh. So that means using the 40K, I can create 4 t-shirts. Remember, I did the design myself. I bought the t-shirt myself, so I just need them to print. And that's all. So if you don't know those things, man, you spend money and spend money and spend money. Yeah.
Okay, nice, Mr. Martin. Thank you for coming to our Isbat podcast and sparing your valuable time with us. I know you are very busy. and you took out some time for us and came all the way to our Isbat studio. So I highly appreciate that. Thank you very much, Mr. Martin.
Well, you're welcome, and also thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk to my fellow creators.
It's our pleasure.
Yeah, so I hope maybe what I've talked about will help them out and help them improve their daily life. Maybe what I forgot to talk about, which is a big problem to creatives, it's proxenating. Like it's a very terrible thing to us. Even myself, sometimes I had it. But the way how you can push yourself is if you are going to work on something, if your mind tells you, let me first do this before I do it, just do the opposite. Go do it.
You should try it actually.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So you're waking up in the morning, have to be somewhere, and you're like, let me wait, I'll go tomorrow. For you, just do the opposite. Just do it now. Because if you do that, it will help you a lot and you keep your clients. Yeah.
So thank you once again. I hope you learned something from this podcast. If you want more podcasts like this in the future, if you want more content like this in the future, please let us know in the comments below. Thank you.